Hey YouTube, it's been a while, welcome back to my channel, and here's another draw and talk video. This time I'm working on the map part that I just put up today. It's a part of a palette map that's like mostly silhouette style. So yeah, I thought I'd just talk about some of my process making that kind of animation, because it's a very similar process to the one that I used in my final music video for uni. So I've kind of got the process kind of streamlined for this style of animation in Krita. Krita is the animation program I use most. It's free, which is the main reason I use it. And I like it the best out of all the free programs that I've used. I've tried Toon Boom, but it's very expensive and like not intuitive for me. Like, I had the month's free trial and I couldn't really work out how to get it working, and I couldn't put sound in. Like, I'm sure it's not a hard program to use, but just the cost is prohibitive for me at the moment. So I think that Krita is the best free program for me. I really like how many different like drawing tools there are, and just the functionality and the hotkeys. You can move back and forth between frames with the arrow keys, which is really such a time saver. And like surprisingly few animation programs have it. In terms of free animation programs, I really like Fire Alpaca as a drawing program, but as an animation program it sucks, because you can't add music or sound of any sort, and you can't easily flip back and forth between the frames. It works like everything's stacked up in layers, and then you can preview it, which is fine if you're like good at getting a movement right straight away, but I'm really not. It takes me quite a while. So yeah, that's why I like Krita best, not Spawn, obviously. But yeah, that's the program I'm using. So yeah, first for this kind of colouring method, I did all the animation basically in pencil, pencil tool, and then what you're seeing now is like I went through every frame and filled in the solid silhouette outline of everything. On a new layer, I lowered the opacity of my pencil animation layer, and then I did the outline and used the fill tool to fill it. Like with the flood fill tool, sometimes if you click it, in most programs this is the same, if you click it once it will fill and then leave a white line around things, and then if you click it twice it will like fill more, and like the anti-alias, like the fuzzy edges of lines, the brush tool I use has a fuzzy edge and most brushes do, so that's what causes the white line. So if you click it twice it will like absorb that line and make it all crisp, so I always click it twice. You can also select, usually there's like a grow selection option in the flood fill toolbox, and that can sometimes work, but depending on the program it can sometimes make things all wonky. Oh yeah, I think I clicked limit to current layer with the flood fill tool as well, so it only picks up on the pen lines I drew for the outline without having to turn the pencil lines on and off every single time. That's a big time saver. And then what I did was I locked the alpha channel off the layer and then started on the like colouring of the other things. What alpha is it's basically like the transparency. So if you preserve or lock the alpha of a layer, what's drawn on the layer is there, and the transparency is like there and it's locked, but you can recolor it So that's how I did all the colouring basically. I think the first thing I did was the shirt because it's more or less skin tight, so I can just go through and draw the edges of it and then flood fill it in the middle. Then like the hair obviously took more work because around the hairline and the sideburns and stuff there's it's not straight lines, you've got to be more careful of it, and it's on the face as well, so that's where people will be looking at more. And then for the detailing of the things, like each individual area, like I didn't have any outlines in this part, but like where like for example like the fingers, separating fingers, or like if the arm is crossing the body and it's two things of the same colour, where two things of the same colour meet, I put a line there. So what I did for that was I used the magic wand tool to select the area of colour, and then just add my lines in with a slightly darker colour. Yeah, I used a layer on top of the of my colours for the eyes and the facial features, just because it's usually easier, and like sometimes they went off the edge of the face, and for me I find that like lines like on the face, it's easier to have like the eye lines on a separate layer above, so you can go back in and do the irises later, and it's less of a bother. And yeah, that's basically what I did. I obviously haven't included the whole process of the map part in the colouring of this in this footage, because that would be too long, and I just wanted to make like a short video. Yeah, sorry, I'm out of practice with voice recording as well, so like there's 5 million and so likes. But yeah, what I did for this map part basically was I just added some words in the background after I finished the colouring, and then it was done, because it's just a silhouette map. And yeah, that's how I do the colouring. So basically do all the rough animation and then make those layers, reduce the opacity of them and use them as a guide, then make the silhouette of the base colour. Usually I do the skin or whatever's underneath or whatever's the biggest colour. On some occasion I've used like the clothes if they've one colour of clothes, but usually it's best to do skin and then do the things on top of it. You can also do this with clipping layers if you want, but that depending on how good your computer is and stuff, that can just add more stuff for it to do and everything can crash more. So I usually just lock the layer and save clipping layers for like other things, like the face if you want it to be on top. Yeah. What else can I talk about? Basically, yeah, I've just been like, Christmas has just happened and that's why I've been away for so long. My temp job finished, so I'm just trying to like regroup after that and figure out what I'm going to do next. So basically I want to find a part-time job that's actually part-time instead of one that starts part-time and ends up at 40 hours a week. And then this character, I'm working on pitching a comic with him in, and I entered the pilot of that into a comic competition, so hopefully that will be interesting for you to see when it comes out. Probably February, mid-February, when I find out what place it is in the comic competition. So yeah, have a lovely day. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope it was useful. Leave me a comment if you've got any like advanced level hacks or if you found this useful. Have a great day. Bye.